Good morning. Welcome to KDOT Emporia sub-area office. For good reason, we're inside today. It's great to be here to celebrate the groundbreaking of the US-50 four-lane expansion. And I often remind my staff that transportation is not just about roads and bridges, it's about people. And there's nothing that I love more than to get out and meet with Kansans and listen to the ways we can better serve them. Well, actually, there might be one thing I love more. And it's when we can see their input translated into real projects and real results. And that's what today's event is about. Thank you for joining us in person and online today as we celebrate an important milestone. Construction will begin today, or maybe tomorrow, depending on the weather, to complete this long-awaited T-Works project. Getting to this point was truly a team effort, and I'm grateful to have some of those team members with me today. Projects like this start with strong local advocates like Lyon County Commissioner Raleigh Martin, who will speak shortly. And we certainly couldn't do it without our private sector partners like Cross Construction, and our CEO, David Howard, is with us today. And we need the support of legislators. Senator Jeff Longbein couldn't be with us today. He's been a long-time advocate of this project, and we certainly want to thank him for his efforts. And last, but certainly not least, this project doesn't happen without the strong leadership of our governor. Thank you. When I came back to KDOT in 2019, there were 21 T-Works projects, including this one, which had been delayed indefinitely due to budget cuts. With today's event, we now have 17 projects remaining, and we will deliver all of those in the next 2 years. And that doesn't happen without Governor Kelly and our legislature supporting those investments. And it's not just that we're honoring our past commitments to Kansans, which we are, but it's through our new transportation program, fondly known as IKE, that we're well positioned to deliver more jobs and more economic opportunities at a time when our state desperately needs those. Thank you, Governor Kelly, for your leadership in creating IKE and giving us the tools to better serve Kansans. Please join me in welcoming Governor Kelly.
Well, thank you, Secretary Lorenz. I also want to give a shout out to Representative Schreiber, who is sitting back there, because he knew what was good for himself and he voted for transportation on a regular basis. It is great to be back in Emporia to celebrate with all of you this morning. This is not only a great day for the community, but really for the entire state of Kansas. When you consider what this US-50 project represents. Today, we're delivering on a long overdue promise to Emporia and to all of Central Kansas. I visited Emporia as part of my budget listening tour last September. I heard about several issues impacting this community and the region, but in particular, Prairie Land Partners John Deere manager, Nick Roth, spoke about the US-50 highway widening efforts and how important this project is for the safety of travelers and expanding economic opportunities throughout the region. I agree. Under the previous administration, more than $2 billion was removed from the state highway fund to cover deficits caused by the failed tax experiment. From day one of my administration, I committed to rebuilding our infrastructure and putting an end to using critical transportation dollars to cover the state's unpaid debts. This project was selected for construction in 2011 under the previous transportation program, T-Works. And to be clear, the community had been advocating for this long before that. This four-lane expansion will make travel safer and alleviate congestion. The current section of two-lane carries the most truck traffic of any two-lane highway in the state. We're also creating jobs at a time when our state really needs them. And we'll make sure to keep our workers safe. We've partnered with the private sector to modify work processes to increase worker safety during construction. As I said before, this is a great day for Kansas. And the better news, we can have more days like this very soon. My administration, with the help from a bipartisan group of state legislators, has reduced transfers from the State Highway Fund, which allowed this project to move forward and will allow all remaining T-Works projects to be underway in the next 2 years. We're not just delivering on past promises, however, we're also creating new opportunities that will make our economy more dynamic, more competitive in the future. As part of the new transportation program passed this year called IKE, we've added $1.6 billion worth of major highway transportation projects to our development pipeline. Under the previous program, unlike the previous program, we are not committing to constructing these projects 10 years in advance. Rather, we recognize the importance of having more flexibility to adjust to revenue fluctuations and for being more responsive to emerging needs. We'll select projects every 2 years and have ongoing dialogue with communities to make smart investments. We've learned from our past mistakes, and Kansans are better served because of it. By having a more robust pipeline, we'll be able to make timely investments to create jobs, accelerate our economic recovery, and create hubs of economic activity to benefit communities all over Kansas. Other states are not as fortunate and don't have the same opportunities as we do. Many are being forced to slash their transportation budgets. But because of our commitment to fiscal responsibility, we will not only be able to restore what we've lost, but also to make new investments that will deliver the future Kansans deserve. Transportation investments don't just create short-term construction jobs, they have the ability to change the long-term economic outcomes for communities that have lost population or business. We know that investing in infrastructure will benefit existing businesses and will encourage new businesses to locate in Kansas. Congratulations to all of you who've been advocated for and worked hard to make today's project happen. And thanks to the community leaders and legislators. Without their support, this would not have been possible. And finally, a special thanks to Secretary Lorenz and her team for accelerating the delivery of this project. Highway projects can't stop and start on a dime. Delays have many compounding impacts. Her team worked hard to deliver this project as fast as possible to put more Kansans back to work. And with that, I'll turn it back to Secretary Lorenz.
Thank you, Governor. As you noted, this project was selected for construction in 2011 under the previous program. But it also serves as a great model for what we want to achieve under the new program, IKE. And I'll tell you why for 3 reasons. First, it's not just about this individual project, it's about contributing to a better statewide system. This is the final segment of a project to improve 67 miles of the US-50 corridor from Emporia to Hutchinson. This corridor has seen a 21% increase in traffic since 2011, and too many accidents have occurred along the way. Second, this is government, and specifically KDOT, working well. When we selected this project originally, we said we'd look at 2 miles of 4-lane and 5 sets of new or extended passing lanes from Emporia to Hutchinson. We call this a practical improvement project, which means that instead of committing to a particular scope, we say we're going to allocate a certain amount of money and then work with the community to figure out the best scope, the best approach for the project. As we worked with the community, what we ended up with is 8 sets of passing lanes instead of 5 sets, and 1 mile of 4-lane instead of 2 miles of 4-lane. What you end up seeing thus is a better project and the power of collaboration to deliver better results. This region ended up with more improvement than would have otherwise been available, and we delivered a more cost-effective approach for taxpayers. And that brings me to my 3rd point. This project represents that money matters. And to be clear, we're always mindful of our responsibility to be good taxpayers and good stewards of those taxpayer dollars. However, we recognize that many of our Kansans are out of work right now, and we know we have a great responsibility to make sure those dollars contribute to as many job opportunities as soon as possible. This project creates not only immediate construction jobs, but it also supports long-term growth in the area by supporting the proposed industrial park nearby. Through IKE, we are delivering more jobs to Kansans more quickly. We were able to move up the delivery of all T-Works projects by 6 months, and we're working with good partners from industry and communities to speed up the delivery of new IKE projects. We need to make sure that these solid investments put more Kansans to work soon and are sound long-term investments that deliver more economic growth in the future. Today's groundbreaking allows us to do both. And most importantly, it makes sure that this route is safer for those who use it. So, safer roads, more jobs, and better service for Kansans. That's what we'll deliver under IKE, and today's an important step in that direction. As I said before, delivering projects like this is a team effort, and there's no more important role than that of local officials. So please join me in welcoming Lyon County Commissioner Raleigh Martin.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. It's a very honorable day when we have the governor and the Secretary of Transportation and David here to come together with a project that's over the last 6-8 years has been in the works, but it's finally going to get completed. And it's also a great day when it rains in July in Kansas. I farm and raise hay and cattle, and it's all very well appreciated here in Kansas. Lyon County government and the RDA, which is the Regional Development Association, fully supported this idea of this expansion of the expressway to 4 lanes, even though it turns out to be 1 mile instead of the 2, but it is a great deal for our economic development of developing this area. Over here, I had this speech prepared when I was standing this way or the other way, so my directions may get wrong. But anyway, it's a great opportunity for economic development in the area west of Emporia here. And it was only because of the vision and the persistence of Senator Longbine to get this thing pushed through, all of it from Emporia to Hutchinson. His persistence at the state level, he was in the battleground area, you might say. He was up front, and we thank him for all his services and dedication to get this project done. As mentioned, the safety of this will be great for anybody that's traveling back and forth from Emporia. It would also be the safety for our big implement dealers here and back here to get on the highway, be safe, and get the large farm equipment back and forth. But however, it's the long-term infrastructure that will eventually help, because as Governor Kelly mentioned, this is one of the highest areas of large truck traffic. Those trucks are bringing materials and inputs for our food industry, our pet food industry, and our agricultural items to our elevators. But that's only half the story, because this infrastructure will allow long-term good roads for products leaving this area. It will be the food products, the dog food processing plants, the agricultural products. That's the other half of the story, because this Highway 50 improvement will allow Kansas and Emporians to deliver products to Kansas and the world. So we really appreciate all of you coming and coming to Lyon County. And today is a good day of this ribbon cutting, but it'll be a great day when this is finished and we can all enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, not only for your partnership on this project, but for your service as a county commissioner. This pandemic has highlighted not only how important local officials are, but also how difficult your jobs are. We're fortunate to have a longtime Kansas company service contractor for this project, Koss Construction. And we're grateful not only because of the great construction work that they do, but also because of the example they set as good citizens. For example, David reached out earlier this spring and Koss donated some of their own N95 masks to Kansas hospitals earlier this year. And Koss has earned numerous quality and partnering awards for projects in Kansas and Oklahoma and Arkansas and Nebraska. We're all very grateful for their generosity and partnering spirit. And we're fortunate that Koss's CEO could join us today. Please welcome David Howard.
Thank you, Secretary Lorenz. My company was established in 1912, and we're very proud to be headquartered up in Topeka, Kansas. We literally have generations of Kansans that work in our company who have been working for over 100 years on Kansas highways. This particular project will add 1 mile of 4-lane to Road E5 to about a ½ mile east of Road F, which will help alleviate congestion on the west side of Emporia. It also makes improvements to Road E5 and F intersections, making them safer. We're proud to construct a project that makes Kansans safer and serves our economy. This is our home too. I would be remiss if I did not mention that there will be several contractors in addition to Koss Construction out here working on this project, including Surveys Inc. out of Ellsworth, Kansas, WCI out of Paola, RF Beechner out of St. Paul, Sillison and Sons out of Wichita, APAC Kansas with offices here in Emporia, AM Coron and Sons with offices here in Emporia, and Victory Excavating from here in Emporia. As we go through this construction over the next 1.5 years, we are committed to keeping our workers safe. I have a son who works with the company as an equipment operator, and like most of our employees, they work a long way from home most of the year. They spend most of their nights living in hotels, and they eat at your local restaurants. It's a very dangerous work environment that they work in all day long, and when you add a virus like we're all facing now, it just makes it that much tougher on them. But these people do it to improve our communities and our state, make a living, and to take care of each other. And just like every other community, our community of workers do that. They take care of each other, and they recognize, just like every community, we have people who are at high risk to illnesses that are caused by these viruses. I also want to mention that these construction projects employ more people than you will see on the road today. Up in our Topeka office, we have finance teams that pay the bills and take care of our employee benefits. We have engineering teams that work with the Kansas Department of Transportation to solve problems that always come up on large projects like these. And we have equipment maintenance teams that work to improve and take care of our fleet of equipment. Construction projects like this create a ripple effect through the state's economy. In addition to the people they employ, there is a large amount of material that is consumed in these projects, and almost all of it is manufactured here in Kansas. And of course, our workers, as they join your community here in Emporia, will spend a good portion of their paychecks while they're here. We recognize that this project was delayed, and we'll do what we can to complete it on time. We know it is important to the Emporia community. The last 5 years have been very difficult for people who make a living working highway construction. We saw promises broken from 2011 through 2017 as tax policies created a real mess for our state. You've probably noticed the roads getting worse over the last year or two. I hope you know that that's occurring because of decisions made years and years ago. I came down on the turnpike today and into Emporia. There's a lot of work going on now. We've got a lot of catching up to do. Taking care of our infrastructure like highways is a little bit like taking care of your teeth. Can you stop spending money on your teeth and not going to the dentist? Absolutely. But you do this for 5 years or more, and you're going to have a bunch of problems. And in the meantime, those toothaches are going to cause other health problems for you, and they're going to detract from the quality of life. And of course, the bill always comes due. And when it does, you see you really haven't saved anything at all. So our hats off to Governor Kelly and her administration on keeping her eye where most Kansas citizens have their eye, which is today and the future of Kansas. We look forward to working on T-Works projects like this one and more Ike projects to come in the future. These are the right decision to take care of what the state of Kansas has and improve where we can this state. And that's exactly what these programs do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. And no pressure, well, some pressure. We look forward to being back here soon for the completion of this project, something like 15 months. So with that, thank you all for being here. We're going to do a different kind of picture in front of this equipment as we really can't go outside and dig in the dirt. Thank you all so much.